Hi, and welcome to MFSN The Hub. I'm Ross the Boss. I'm here with the brains of the operation, Casey, flat to the bone, Scheinfeld. We're here to talk Super Bowl 59 with you. It's going to be a rematch of 2 years ago, which was a pretty good game, Casey. It was high scoring, a lot of
It
touchdowns.
was. I thought Jalen Hurts was the best player in that game 2 years ago.
I thought, yeah, was he a rookie? No, he was second year that year. Second year, I believe. I don't think he was a rookie because the rookie starting a Super Bowl has never happened before, supposedly. Almost happened this year with Daniels, but sorry, no cigar.
They got exposed.
So Casey,
hey,
here we go. He's here. We got him. The author of the book is out. If you want to go grab a copy, you can grab a copy now. I'll have him talk about it quickly. We have Dr. Dan Ratner here. Dr. Dan, welcome to the party, pal. We're talking Super Bowl.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk about your book. Tell me about your book. I know it's not a fantasy football book.
As much as we've joked that it was for the past 3 months on every broadcast.
I know they joke as if I'm like a fake doctor, and Casey too. But I am actually a psychologist. And my devotion to MFSN is to still be here, even though it's launch day. In less than 2 hours, I'll be launching this book right here.
Let's see.
Woohoo!
Crushing.
Is it?
I ordered mine.
Crushing doubt.
There it is. So it's a book about how you can control all kinds of symptoms that you don't think you can control using changed thoughts and understanding your feelings. So it's just about how the mind affects the body. We know that it affects it with crying. You get sad, tears roll down your face. You get embarrassed, blood rushes to your face. That can happen in extreme measure, and then you can end up with 8 years of back pain like I did. But I found my way out with this kind of information, developed my own system, and now I'm ready to help people with that. That launch is going to be 2 hours from now, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be on my YouTube channel, Crushing Doubt. So MFSN fans, please join me there.
And we're excited. So the book is out in 2 hours.
Oh, the book's already out. The
book's
launch
out. I ordered it already.
There you go.
I'm going to order it today too then. If Casey orders it, I'm ordering it. I want a signed copy too.
Go to Amazon. You can get a signed copy for sure, Ross.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Ross has been joking that he asked me how many. Ross has asked me several times how many chapters are devoted to him, that sort of thing. So I told him.
Me and Casey, I put Casey in there too.
Yeah, and Casey. And
Casey, sign it for you. We're roommates back in the day in college, which I don't think anybody knows about that. But so Casey knows all the secrets and knows where the bodies are buried.
I know what he feels.
Actually, I know where the bodies are buried.
So let's talk Super Bowl, Dan. I was just telling Casey, I'm not somebody that's rushing to watch the Super Bowl this year. I'm not super excited. It's a rematch from 2 years ago. I'm sick and tired of Kansas City being in the Super Bowl. Whole thing with Taylor Swift being shown every 5 minutes during the game. I want to throw my TV in the pool. It's just like so much stuff with Kansas City. I just can't handle it anymore. I mean, I should have a psychologist just talking about this.
Well, we can.
You have two of them right here.
Right. Yeah. I think Chiefs fatigue or whatever you want to call it is absolutely real. As much as we enjoy seeing like great teams, like I never felt this way when the Bulls were playing in the finals in the 90s. I never felt this way when the Lakers at the turn of the century were doing it with Shaq and Kobe. But for some reason, the Chiefs rub us the wrong way. I'm not sure exactly why, but I agree with you. I'm not as excited about it as I would have been had it been the Bills playing.
I actually did feel this way about it, even with the Bulls back in the day. I always get tired of the winners always winning. I'm always an underdog rooter. And then I'm like, my teams never win. I wonder why. I think it's because I'm rooting for the underdog all the time. But, when it comes to the Chiefs, I remember growing up looking at those Super Bowl scores. I think of the Chiefs as the original Super Bowl loser. And then they managed to win Super Bowl IV. And then they just disappeared for a long time. And they from the Super Bowl history. And then now they are the dominant force. And I think, yeah, everybody wants a change, but this is not the kind of change we're looking for. Now we're either going to have the Chiefs or the Eagles win it. They've both won relatively recently. They were in the Super Bowl together. And I think one of the worst things about the last Super Bowl was how it was decided. That pass interference call, it was just such a boring, horrible ending. Albert Merriquin saying, hello, good afternoon, Albert. Thanks for joining us. We're doing Super Bowl picks. Let us know who you think is going to win this Super Bowl. So,
See, I don't feel the same way about the Eagles. And I agree.
I don't feel the same way about the Eagles, no.
But I think it's partially I'm wearing my Giants jersey today, my Giants sweatshirt, and Saquon Barkley.
You want Saquon to win.
Yeah. I mean, we treated him like dog.
That's documented.
6 years.
It's on
like the way, not just treated like
right
the
now,
team they put around him. Imagine what his numbers would look like for his career now had he had a competent offensive package around him for the first 6 years of his career. So I'm rooting for him. But I think part of it also is the Bills are the lovable losers in some ways, going back to the Jim Kelly days for us who are old enough to remember them losing 3 or 4 straight Super Bowls.
Scott Norwood.
Yeah. But Thurman Thomas and all those guys. And so to see them keep getting so close and lose to the Chiefs have become the Yankees of the 90s or the early 2000s.
Oh, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it because you were talking about like getting fatigued about teams winning all the time, and I see that Yankees thing hanging in the background.
Oh,
this guy's got to know what we're talking about.
Whoa! It's different. Yankees spent a lot of money to form that team. In NFL, it's called.
Not in the '90s, they didn't.
In the
not in the '90s, they didn't have the same sort of approach to just buying trophies the way they did in the 2000s. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. I'm a Yankees fan, so I enjoyed them winning World Series, but. Yeah, I didn't watch them after every game once they've been in it 3 years in a row or 2 years in a row.
This is one of the reasons Casey and I are good friends is that he can admit he's the rare Yankees fan who can admit it's kind of annoying for everybody else. He gets it, you know. I appreciate that about you, Casey.
So let's talk quarterbacks. We'll start with that first. Let's talk about Mahomes versus Hurts. I think that both quarterbacks will have a lot of yardage they're going to break the yardage, whatever it is for each guy. I think Hurts is 211. I think Mahomes is 240 something. I think both of them will have over that.
Oh, you're talking about over-unders.
Over-unders on passing yards. I think we'll see a good offensive display. We'll see touchdowns. We're going to see a lot of scoring, I think, compared to some other Super Bowls.
I'm not convinced. They're both good defenses.
They both have really good defenses.
Right, but
they also have really good offenses.
I see Hurts throwing the ball. I see them concentrating on Barkley on the front line with Kansas City, and I see Philadelphia deciding to go with the passing more than running. If Kansas City decides to shut down Barkley, and I just feel if you look at each position and each strength of each team, I just feel Philadelphia has Kansas City beat at almost every position. Seriously, and I was looking
and I was going to say the same thing, but I'm still not betting against the Chiefs.
No. My number one rule in betting is
it feels the same way it did when the Chiefs played Tampa Bay a few years ago in the Super Bowl, where it's like these Chiefs are going to be unbeatable, and you're like, yeah, but the Bucs have Tom Brady, and look what happens.
Yeah, you never bet against Mahomes. That's a theory that I go by and I stand by. But I'm just giving you both sides. And if I had to pick a quarterback right now who's better, I would still say Mahomes just because he never loses in the playoffs. I mean, that's
he always knows how to win. And meanwhile, where do you think he ranks all time for quarterbacks?
If he wins this one, he's easily in the top 5 in my book.
Oh, top 3.
I think he's already top 3. I think he's third right now.
3. So yeah, Brady, Montana, and then Mahomes.
That's what I have. Yes.
Okay.
Brady, Montana, and Mahomes right now. I can't see who's above Mahomes.
It's not Phil Simms. It's not Joe Pisarcik. It's
Phil Simms. Hey, don't knock Phil Simms. Holy cross, baby.
He was much better than people gave him credit for.
It's not Brian Sipe or Bernie Kosar. It's not one of those two guys.
It's
Tim Couch.
It's not even Otto Graham. I mean, the Browns have no one who can rival any of Tim Couch. Poor Tim Couch, cannon fodder. He was invited to be the Browns quarterback. It's like it's storming the beaches of Norman.
He won the Heisman. Don't feel bad for him. He made money. He did okay.
All right. So wait, you guys are both definitely picking the Chiefs.
No, I never said that.
I said I'm not betting against the Chiefs.
So, now you're hedging your bets.
We're just so let's talk. So quarterback, Casey, you think Mahomes over Hurts, correct?
I think Mahomes is the better pure quarterback. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk running game. Are you taking Hunt? Are you taking Barkley?
Come on.
Okay, so.
He could barely even get it out of his mouth.
Pacheco and Hunt, or Barkley?
would
Which
t-
one do you like?
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a
Okay.
discussion there. Will
Okay,
Shipley
receivers.
it tips it over the edge for Saquon having Will
Receivers. I
Shipley.
mean, Worthy's been pouring it on. He's been looking really good for Kansas City. Smith-Schuster in the playoffs, and
Playoff.
especially in Super Bowl pass,
can't
he's
say
been,
that word
he's been
without
pretty good. But A.J. Brown and Smith in their tight end, I mean, those guys have been.
But and that's where receivers to me, I think Smith and AJ Brown are much more raw, pure, talented, skilled wide receivers than what is on Kansas City. The difference is I like Patrick Mahomes' ability to read the defense, manipulate the secondary, and find his receivers better than I like Jalen Hurts. And so Kansas City's receivers might actually have more yards, but they're not better receivers.
Yeah,
I say AJ Brown has a touchdown. If you have money, bet it on. He'll get the paint. You'll see AJ Brown scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
I want to see AJ Brown holding this book. That's what I want to see.
Oh,
reading the book on the sideline.
Yeah, if he please, AJ, if you're watching this, which we know you are, we know AJ's watching.
Yeah, I'm sure he's watching. So, I mean, I enjoy watching those receivers. I think I just feel that they're a lot better than Kansas City's receivers. Hopkins has done nothing. Worthy's been coming up okay. And then let's talk Travis Kelce. I mean, do you guys see him having a big game on the Super Bowl?
I mean,
I see him having 3 receptions for 12 yards, but one of them's a key touchdown.
Yeah, see, I think he's going to score a touchdown almost for sure. It's going to be one of those shovel pass.
Yeah, from the 4-yard line.
They do it all the time.
Or he's going to find a little soft spot in the zone on a 3rd and goal from the 6.
Do you think Taylor Swift would pretend that she's never seen a touchdown before and just go crazy like it's
that's what it'll look like? And how many times
do you think Taylor Swift's going to join Kendrick Lamar at the halftime show?
No,
they're going to shake it off together.
She'll be in her suite drinking alcohol, which I'll be doing the same thing. She should be drinking alcohol at the Super Bowl. It's in New Orleans this year, which I think I've been to New Orleans twice for a game. I went to the '85 Bears Super Bowl.
You saw the refrigerator Perry touchdown. Nice.
I was at that game.
That's awesome.
I was in college.
Dan saw the greatest Super Bowl I've ever seen.
Which one?
At the Superdome.
It was Tom Brady's first win ever.
I didn't go to that.
Over the Rams. That Vinatieri field goal at the end of the game. It was
the only one that rivals it was the Rams. Were they still the Houston Oilers then, or were they the Titans? Where Steve McNair was a half a yard short.
I watched that. That was great.
See, that's the thing. You want that kind of ending. That's why the pass interference call the first time of the Eagles Chiefs was so annoying. You were like, it was building up. You were like, oh my God, it could be this great thing.
And Jalen Hurts was the best player that day.
Yeah.
So giving him the time, you knew he would score somehow.
And the second time I've been to the Superdome is for the NCAA championship in 1987 when Keith Smart for University.
Oh, you were there too?
Oh my.
No.
Those are epic.
Ross the Boss was at both of those games.
So that was Keith Smart. That was Steve Alford.
Iowa.
And they beat Syracuse with what's his name?
Billy Owens. Was that Billy Owens? He wasn't there yet, was he?
No, I think it was Coleman.
No, I don't think so.
No,
Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman. That's
Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman.
I say Ben Coleman, but yeah. So I've been twice. It's a great place to watch a game. I'm saying it's a fun place to go. Great place to watch a game. Superdome is awesome. I recommend it. You should go once. It's a really cool place. But I've been to 7 Super Bowls. For me, it's the parties the night before are a lot better than the game, usually. But again, I think we'll have a good game. I think it's going to be high scoring. But let's talk defense now. Philly's defense, I feel, is better than Kansas City. I like their defensive line. The defensive line shut down Brian Robinson last week.
They're so young and athletic. They're just fun to watch. They fly all around the field. Jalen Carter is almost unblockable on that interior.
Their defense is really good. And Kansas City's defense is good too. Smith is awesome. I mean, they have some really good defenders in Kansas City. But I just feel the offense is going to take over during this game. And we'll see I think both teams will have at least 3 touchdowns each. That's my prediction. I don't know what you guys think. But I see 3 touchdowns for each team.
I mean, I think we're certainly going to get into the 20s in score on both sides. That's what I think. But I think we could even break into the 30s. It's going to be a close game. And the thing is, Mahomes knows how to win those close games. So you're always going to expect him to win. I'm ready to say who I think is going to win. But
I mean, my honest opinion is this. I'm just tired of Kansas City. I can't put my money on them because it just sickens me to root for
it's
them.
like betting on the house.
I just can't do it.
Which is, by the way, the smartest bet every time.
I always tell people never bet against Mahomes. So I'm going to take a lot of more prop situations: who's scoring touchdowns, who's getting yards, what the coin flip's going to be. I'd rather do that than bet the side, just because I really think Kansas City will probably win, just because Mahomes never loses. But I'll be rooting for Philadelphia because of Barkley and my tight relationship.
What's the line?
It's 1.5. Kansas City's favored by 1.5, but the real money does not come in until next week. Is when people make all those.
They've got to be favored. I mean, they're trying to three-peat.
Right.
They haven't really gotten worse.
Remember, all the crazy gamblers start betting next week. This week, people really don't bet as much as they do next week. It's when all the hype happens, and there's always some Yahoo that bets like $1 million, and there's
Mattress Mac. Isn't that the guy in Houston?
That bets money.
That's on the Astros like $5 million or something.
Yeah, that idiot. And then we'll get all these other gamblers that will come out of the woodwork.
I would take the Eagles. How's that? I'll go. The Eagles with 1.5 points. It might as well be a pick 'em at that point. Yeah. But I think the Eagles will win 24-21 or 24-17.
24-17. So you think the Eagles will win by 7?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that pick. I think they could get up to. I think the Eagles or Kansas City will get up to the 30s. One of them will.
See, I see it as more defensive, but that's just me. I don't see Kansas City's offense is explosive enough to put up 30 points on Philadelphia.
Yeah,
they're smart. They're savvy. They're a ball control team now.
So who's the MVP? Who's the MVP if Philadelphia wins, Casey? You're saying
Saquon.
Philly over her. So
Overheard.
Saquon's odds.
I have to.
Saquon's 2. It's like 2-1 if Saquon wins the MVP, and then Hurts is like 3-1 if he wins the MVP. I feel Hurts is the better bet just because the odds are better.
Well, and because quarterbacks always
have the best. They really have the best chance.
Okay,
so
Casey, Dan.
I'm totally disappointed that Casey said this because I was expecting to be the one to say I actually think the Eagles are going to win this.
By the way, viewers out there in land, it means they will absolutely lose the game if 10 and I each pick them.
Actually, no. Here, let me make a distinction. This
You're wearing a red shirt too, just so you know. But keep going.
I know. I showed up looking like I was going to say Chiefs, but here's the thing: if I said I wanted the Eagles to win, they would lose. That's the kiss of death. But I actually am pretty good at predicting who I think is going to win when I don't
have any rooting interest.
No. I just think that the Eagles are ready to break through. It's going to be very hard because it's incredibly hard to beat Mahomes in any game, but they're going to be in it. I think they're actually the more complete team. They've been here before, and they've been here before against the Chiefs. They know what to expect, and it really is a coin flip. It's going to end up with who's going to have the ball at the end of the game. I mean, who's going to run that clock out? And I think it could go either way. But I just have a gut feeling that Philadelphia is going to win.
Well, and also remember, Kansas City's running game, I mean, Hunt's their running back. I mean, I think he's good. I have him on my fantasy team with you guys. But I just think Barkley's so much better. And he's been averaging 120 yards, 130 yards a game in the playoffs or something crazy. I mean, Hunt's not going to have 100 yards.
First touch of the game last week, 61 yards to the house or 64 yards, whatever it was.
I also think because it depends on who has it at the end of the game. Saquon Barkley, he could get shut down early in the game, but later in the game, it's going to be really tough on Kansas City to try to keep going against Saquon Barkley, and I think that's going to make the difference in the end.
And that offensive line is really good. Like, we're not talking about like Barry Sanders behind a terrible offensive line. Like, you could catch him for a 3-yard loss. Like, that Philadelphia offensive line is one of the best, if not the best in the league. And you put a great running back behind that. I don't care how good your defensive line is. Eventually, he's going to get 6, 8, 12-yard carries. And I just, once he gets to that second level, there's not a lot of people who bring him down with any consistency. So,
Ross, do we have anybody who's going to pick the Chiefs?
I'm going to, just because you two guys took the Eagles,
you have to do
I'm going to take Kansas City.
Yes.
Just because my theory is, and I'll say it a million times, you never bet against Mahomes. And this guy figures a way to win, that he has the refs on a payroll. They're paid off to make the right calls at the right time. And he has Taylor Swift, Caitlin Clark, I'm sure will be there too, the star WNBA player. Kansas City just knows how to win in these situations. And I think, like we said, talent-wise, if you look at their team, Philadelphia's better. I mean, they really are.
It is one of the most complete rosters I remember in a long time.
I mean, we even said it before the season started. The Eagles have a great roster. I said it. You said it. I mean, they had their team. It looked great on paper, and they did it. I said the 49ers, too. I thought they had a really good team on paper, and they didn't. So, I mean,
they had a really good team that ended up.
They had a team that was made of paper.
I see the coin flip. I see it going to heads. I have a good feeling about heads this year. I don't know why. I think I dreamt it, that it's going to be heads. And I think we'll see some. I think
about
an AJ Brown touchdown. I think he'll score. I see Smith having a good game also for the Eagles. I see a lot of passing for both teams. I think they'll.
Yeah, I see it as a running backs and tight ends game. It's just
really
kind of.
See,
maybe that's why I'm not seeing it as
Jalen Hurts is going to run one in. I think Saquon's going to run one in late.
How many tush pushes? 1 or 2?
One.
Just one.
Just one.
I think Hunt will have a touchdown also. How about that?
I could totally see that. Yes.
I think Hunt will have them. But overall, I always got excited about the commercials, and they released a Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan commercial for the mayonnaise company, reenacting the scene in Katz's Deli in New York. For faking the
When Harry Met Sally.
I'll have what she's having.
Yeah, they've been showing that, and
there's
it's just like, the thing is this: no one remember. First of all, unless you're my age, you don't remember the movie. Second of all,
I'm not your age. I remember it.
But both actors
close enough.
Both actors had so much work done that it's hard to look at them.
I know.
And, it's just, and it's like, I mean, that's the commercial they release. I mean, seriously.
I also saw the one that's Post Malone and that comedian. I think that's another one that's been released.
I haven't seen
Bud Light, or it's a beer commercial.
Who's the comedian? Do you remember? A guy, girl?
Let me look it up.
Both.
Probably
transgender. Got it. But I used to get excited about the commercials.
Shane Gillis.
I know Shane. He's funny, but no one knows who he is except
he's from Harrisburg, so I know him.
But 99% of the people in the country have no idea who he is.
He's most famous for getting fired from Saturday Night Live, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
he got fired, and then he hosted Saturday Night Live.
That's a comeback.
Which he made fun of. He's funny. He's a funny guy. I'm not saying he's not funny. I'm just saying that no one knows who he is. But I used to get excited about the commercials. I don't anymore. They've been so kind of lame the past couple of years.
There's been a couple, but it's usually like there's one or two standout commercials.
It's not like it was 20 years ago where you watched the Super Bowl just as much to see the commercials.
Almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are just not creative. I don't know. I just don't think they try as much to be creative anymore.
I don't know. What Super Bowl are we on? What number is it now?
59.
59. My
59. 59th Super Bowl. It should, again, I wonder what the rating's going to be. I think the ratings won't be that great because people are thinking the same thing I'm thinking. It's like, I really don't want to watch Kansas City again play. But I think curiosity factor, people will watch so they can talk about it at the water cooler on Monday.
Even the Taylor Swift factor is going to bump up the views.
Yeah,
you're just trying to trigger Ross today, aren't you?
I'm sorry. You can talk about.
It's so upsetting
that Swift if you want.
That's a trigger for you. It's so upsetting that the networks have to show her after a big play instead of concentrating on the game in football. They have to see her emotions.
I wish they would concentrate more on the history. I love how the history of these teams connects, and that's what I meant when I was saying, like, I think of the Chiefs as the original Super Bowl loser. Now they're the dominant team. That's pretty cool, And when I was growing up, the Eagles had made one Super Bowl with Ron Jaworski, and they lost it. I think it was close, but they lost the Raiders. And I think of teams in those ways. It's just
no. I hope we have a good game. I hope it's exciting. I mean, of course, I'll probably watch. Will I sit there and count the minutes until the game starts? No.
Will you count the minutes until it's over? That's the question.
Am I more excited about my fantasy baseball draft? Yes.
Oh, we're getting excited about that.
We could talk about that.
Should we segue? Should we segue just briefly into that before we wrap up for today?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's getting to be that time of year,
Pitchers and catchers report in a couple weeks.
It's very exciting. I mean, this gap between football and baseball, like, especially if the Super Bowl doesn't feel that exciting, it's like this is the hardest time in a sports fan's
it really is. And
calendar.
I think in addition to it being like just epically awesome, I think it's what makes March Madness even better. Because by the time it comes around, we're so thirsty for that sort of intensity in sports because everything else is either basketball and hockey are in their kind of lame part of the season. NFL's over. Baseball hasn't started yet. And then March Madness comes along.
So hungry for it. And then March Madness, to me, is my favorite sporting event of all time.
Well, the first weekend of March Madness.
I love the first
weekend. I do run out of steam after that first weekend. I still watch it, but it's not the same.
But then, when your bracket's already busted.
It'd be fun to go to Vegas and bet the March Madness for those 4 days. That'd be fun.
Someday we'll do that with MFSN.
It'd be great to take Dan's private plane and get a big suite in Vegas and bet hundreds of dollars on each game. That'd be great. Just a hint on Dan,
Yeah, I mean, we just call whatever plane I'm on my private plane.
as long as it doesn't
United
have to be
Flight 186.
We'll take Case. No wives. No wives are not invited. They stay home.
All right. Sorry, ladies. You heard it here first.
We get to watch basketball 14 hours during the day. But are you guys going to any Super Bowl parties? What are you guys going to do for the Super Bowl? What's your plan? Stay at home?
I have no plans beyond 7 p.m. tonight right now. I'm just
I was going to say he hasn't even looked at tomorrow yet.
You're
right, exactly.
So let's talk about your book real quick. How long did it take you to write this book?
Depends on how you measure it. Taking forever. Does Ross know that line? So I started writing this book about a year after I got better from the back pain, and that was 12 years ago. But I wasn't writing it all the time, and I was gathering information, and I was, becoming better and better at what I do. And the joke I have about the book is the longer it took, the better the book got. But it's baked, it's ready, and I can't wait to get it out to people. And, I also think from a sports perspective, it'll be really interesting once you guys have read it to talk about what we think about some of these athletes' injuries. I know we talked about it during baseball season. This was just one I was speculating on. You can never know from the outside because you don't know the details. But like when Kyle Tucker wasn't coming back from a bruised shin for 3 months,
4 months.
Like, what? 4 months, right? I was like, what's going on here? And I was like, you need to talk to me. So I'm hoping this will change the fabric of the way that we think about symptoms and address them. And I hope it'll get athletes back on the field. At some point, some major league owner is going to catch on to this, and it's going to be the biggest competitive advantage you will have seen in a long time.
So if an owner called you and said, we want you to be the team doctor, would you take the job? Yes or no?
No, I would not take the job as the team doctor. However, I would develop a program for them and develop somebody to be their
some
team
of
doctor.
their doctors. Yeah.
Well, you'd be the okay. Let's say the head trainer. Like you're in charge of all the other doctors. They just don't have.
Yeah, I could play a role. It can't be a full-time role. I have too much going on.
When these places have like the head trainer or the trainer, they're just a figurehead. Just like the head coach. I have 5 other people that work for them.
I was on the verge of meeting with a Major League Baseball owner about this. I have a friend who met with an NBA owner about this, who's in the field. It's coming. People are going to catch on, and the first teams that do this are seriously going to have a major competitive advantage.
So
Yeah.
You're saying the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have a major advantage on the other team because they're doing.
You know what's hilarious is the one of the teams that has the biggest disadvantage I've ever seen is the Cleveland Browns. Because their training staff, and I've been to see them actually. I had an injury. I went to see a physical therapist that is affiliated with the Cleveland Browns. And I was like, this is the worst physical therapy I could ever imagine. I understand now why the Browns are so injured all the time. Because what they do is they tell them, just stop moving. Just give it a rest.
That's the worst thing you can do. I'm out of training.
Right. I mean, everybody knows that, but not the staff of the Cleveland Browns trainers.
Now, did you prescribe all those massages for your quarterback, Watson?
Several things that I must object to about that statement. No, I didn't prescribe any massages for Deshaun Watson. He wasn't the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns at the time, and I'm not a Browns fan, so he's not my quarterback. No. Complete disavowal. He's been an absolute train wreck, as people know, but like, I can't wait for the Browns to cut
the worst contract ever in sports history.
You know what's funny is the thing that bothers me most about that. It's not. I mean, look, there's many things that can bother me about it, but from a sports fan, I loved Baker Mayfield. I was like, what are you doing?
I love him. My wife loves him, and she's not a big football fan. She loves.
I'm just so glad to see Baker. I'm so glad to see Baker.
Did you guys, speaking of massages, did you see Justin Tucker has now been accused?
No.
The kicker for the Ravens. 6 different massage
He gave
therapists.
Deshaun Watson a massage? That's disturbing.
6 different massage. Like there's actually salons that are now coming out and saying we terminated his contract as a client after all the
I completely cracked up Ross on that
one. Like, his pictures all over town. Every massage parlor in Baltimore area has this picture. Like, this guy's banned. No more massage.
Oh my God!
For the kicker.
There's another one.
He posted to have this great image. He was on 60 Minutes that he profiled him on because he's also like no joke. He's like a opera singer. Like, he's a great singer. Like he goes to like Philharmonics and he's the singer for them. I mean, he's like this professional singer, great voice. He puts this whole facade on, and he really was accused of all this stuff at massage parlors after Watson did it.
If anybody's wondering, being a great singer is no excuse.
No,
for
but
that
it's
kind
like
of massage.
a squeaky clean image. When did this come out, Casey? I haven't.
I just saw it today.
The world's insane.
It's crazy. I mean, so there's more than one massage parlor saying this guy did inappropriate things.
Yes, 6 different massage therapists have come out.
6.
Wow.
I think I don't know. I'm not going to say the guy's guilty, but if 6 people come out with the same accusations, I think something's going on.
It starts to add up when you see the numbers. If it's just one, then you
if it's
could
1 or 2.
wonder.
Okay, maybe they got
I mean, we do have to believe in innocent until proven guilty. But when there's like with Deshaun Watson, there was what 28
9 times.
9 times. Oh my God.
No, it was like
even Ed Rooney was turned out to be a problem.
No, and remember, not all the women came out and wanted their face, and they didn't want to be involved because they'd all be married or they have
what
kids.
If there is no tomorrow?
There wasn't today.
But,
Ross, we're on a movie quote tear. We can't help it.
You guys are way over my head. No idea what you're talking about.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap this up for today. But are we gonna be back next week, guys? Are we coming back?
I want to start baseball. In all seriousness, I do want to start baseball.
It's gonna be February. I think.
Let's start after the Super Bowl.
After the Super Bowl.
Okay. So, start baseball. I mean, we can meet again next week.
Just to make it clear, I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the over. I'm taking heads. I'm taking AJ Brown for a touchdown. I'm taking Hunt for a touchdown, and the quarterbacks will go over their yardage, quote, whatever it is, take over. And I think we'll see a high scoring game. I think it'll be an exciting game, but I just hope Kansas City loses.
Yep. And I really want next year I want to see a Detroit Lions Buffalo Bills Super Bowl. I think that's what everybody wanted to see. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
Well, all right, guys. Well, we'll wrap it up. We
on the book. We're excited to read it, and
Thank you.
I'll see everybody next week, maybe, or the week after.
We'll plan to put something out next week, and then we're going to start baseball the week after. All right, guys. It's a pleasure being with you guys. Case, Ross, thank you for watching, everybody. Good luck to both teams in the Super Bowl. I hope it's at least exciting in some way, and we look forward to talking to you soon. All right, thanks, guys.